Caitlin Clark didn't just ink another brand deal. She detonated the entire foundation of women's sports marketing in one swift, billion-dollar stroke. When news broke that Clark had secured a $13 billion collaboration with Wilson Sporting Goods and Hy-Vee, it wasn't just a flex. It was a signal to every boardroom, brand, and baller: the game has changed. Permanently. And the ripple effect hit the WNBA with the force of an earthquake. Instant jealousy didn't just hit, it exploded. And no one felt it more than Aya Wilson. This wasn't just about endorsement money. This was about power. About marketability. About legacy. Clark, a rookie, had just landed the most monumental branding alliance in the history of women's basketball. An unprecedented partnership, equal parts retail revolution and marketing masterstroke, that placed her name on signature Wilson basketballs, not unlike the one and only Michael Jordan. Let that sink in. Since MJ, only one other athlete has received this treatment from Wilson: Caitlin Clark. And suddenly, the glow surrounding the WNBA's brightest veteran stars began to dim. Aya Wilson, MVP, Olympic gold medalist, fan favorite, found herself watching from the sidelines while Clark's name blazed across billboards, her custom Dreamer and Tribute basketballs selling out within 40 minutes of launch. Tens of thousands of units gone in a flash. A phenomenon that hadn't happened since Jordan himself changed the shoe game in the 80s. And for Wilson, it wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was a direct challenge. Behind the scenes, Nike scrambled. The brand had already signed Clark to a massive $28 million contract earlier in the year. But after all that hype, Nike delivered silence. No ads. No signature sneakers. No merch blitz. They benched their most valuable player while other brands built empires around her. And Clark? She kept winning. With Hy-Vee, the $13 billion retail giant, now stepping into the game, the collaboration wasn't just an endorsement, it was a marketing supernova. Together with Wilson, Hy-Vee launched exclusive Caitlin Clark basketballs, created charity partnerships with her foundation, and wrapped their brand identity around her journey. Every ball released told a piece of her story, from Iowa to Indiana, from college legend to professional powerhouse. Wilson didn't just sign a player. They invested in a movement. One that made fans buy, believe, and come back for more. Meanwhile, the rest of the WNBA could only watch as the spotlight narrowed on one woman. And that spotlight, so hot and focused, scorched egos across the league. The jealousy wasn't subtle. You could hear it in locker rooms, see it on timelines, and feel it in the subtext of every press release. But it wasn't until Aya Wilson's 6-year contract extension with Nike was announced that the envy boiled over into public view. Fans saw it for what it was: a reaction. Not just a routine re-signing, but a calculated response to Clark's monster deal. The timing was too perfect. The wording too rehearsed. Some fans immediately branded it a fake deal, a participation trophy disguised as a power play. Nike, once the undisputed king of sports branding, suddenly looked like it was playing catch-up with a rookie and two companies nobody saw coming. But here's the kicker: this isn't just about product sales. It's about cultural dominance. Caitlin Clark was recently ranked as the 4th most marketable athlete in the world. Not just among women. Not just in basketball. In the world. Right below LeBron James and ahead of global icons. That kind of status doesn't come from good PR alone. It comes from numbers, influence, and seismic shifts in how audiences engage with athletes. Clark isn't riding a wave. She is the wave. And she's crashing into an industry that hasn't figured out how to embrace more than one woman at a time without sparking resentment. So when critics ask why Aya Wilson doesn't have her own basketball or signature shoe, they're not just defending her resume. They're pointing to a long history of missed chances, delayed recognition, and corporate cowardice. But here's the twist: it's not Clark's fault. She didn't block Wilson from getting a shoe. She didn't ask for exclusivity. She simply did what superstars do. She moved the needle, broke the mold, and made companies believe in the untapped power of women's sports. The uncomfortable truth? If Wilson and Clark released shoes on the same day, Clark's would sell out 10 times over. That's not shade. That's reality. It's business. And Wilson, as talented and deserving as she is, has become the face of a brutal lesson in modern marketing. Success doesn't always follow merit. It follows momentum. And Clark has it in spades. Yet, The backlash brewing within the WNBA is more than just professional jealousy. It's rooted in race, visibility, and a sense of betrayal. Many fans, especially black fans, feel sidelined by Clark's rise. They remember when Aya Wilson carried the league without the cameras, the deals, the headlines. And now, watching a white rookie become the face of the sport they've supported for years, it hurts. It stings. And it's igniting conversations that are long overdue. Is the sudden fixation on Clark a symptom of systemic bias? Is she being elevated because she fits a more palatable image for sponsors and mainstream media? Or is it just a case of the right talent meeting the right moment? These are not easy questions. But they are necessary ones. Because for all the celebration around Clark's success, there's also an undercurrent of exclusion. The WNBA, long powered by black excellence, is at risk of fracturing under the weight of unequal recognition. Brands can no longer afford to play favorites without consequences. What Wilson and Hy-Vee are doing with Caitlin Clark is nothing short of revolutionary. They're not just putting her face on a product, they're building a mythology around her. Creating a line of merchandise that tells a story, connects with fans, and keeps evolving. It's smart. It's bold. And it's everything Nike should have done 6 months ago. Now, every day Nike waits is a day they lose ground. Their $28 million deal with Clark was supposed to be the start of a new era. Instead, it feels like a stalled elevator, full of potential, but stuck between floors. Meanwhile, Wilson and Hy-Vee keep climbing, keep innovating, keep printing money. Clark's jerseys have seen a 500% sales spike. Her balls sell out in under an hour. Her name is gold, and somehow, the biggest sportswear brand in the world is acting like it doesn't know what to do with it. Can you imagine sitting in a Nike boardroom right now? Watching Wilson roll out product after product. Watching Hy-Vee launch exclusive drops. Watching social media light up with every new Caitlin Clark release, and realizing you've done nothing. It's not just embarrassing. It's brand malpractice. Because this isn't about one deal or one player anymore. It's about who gets to define the future of women's sports. Clark is showing the world that women's basketball isn't just compelling, it's commercially explosive. She's opened a door. And whether you're inspired by her rise or infuriated by it, you can't deny that she's changed the game. But as one woman's star ascends, others are asking, where was this support when we were carrying the league? Aya Wilson deserved her moment. Deserved her shoe. Deserved the kind of partnership Clark now enjoys. But she didn't get it, not when it mattered most. And now, with Clark's success in full view, every missed opportunity feels like salt in the wound. What happens next could define the next decade of women's sports marketing. Will brands finally learn how to uplift multiple women at once? Will Nike wake up and unleash the star power they already signed? Or will the divide between established stars and new icons continue to widen, leaving resentment and division in its wake? Let us know what you think. Did Nike fumble the Caitlin Clark era? Was Aya Wilson's contract extension with Nike genuine, or a move born from envy? Is this just a branding war, or are we witnessing a deeper reckoning in women's basketball? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe for more stories that cut through the hype and ask the real questions. Because this story isn't just about basketballs and billion-dollar deals. It's about the future of the game, and who gets to own it.